I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
Oh, you didn't know? Well, we told you we'd be back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Value Wrestling. This is your Break It Down. Let me adjust this a little bit back here. Okay, this is your Break It Down. AEW WrestleDream 2024. We're going to break it all down and talk about it all. Hopefully not too long. Trying to get through this. I am sore. It does not feel good. It's time for some more medication. Anyways, gentlemen, are you ready for this big pay-per-view? What are your feelings about this WrestleDreams? Do you think it's going to be a dreamland, a nightmare, or is it going to be a sweet lullaby that we're not going to be able to do a show afterwards because we passed out so hardcore that we didn't watch half the show?
I'll be up for it. I'm here for the in-ring action. Say what you want about the build. Say what you want about the booking. I'm here for the in-ring action and what these performers can do, the stories they can tell inside the ring, despite what the company does or does not do for them.
Well, in that case, this show should be amazing because the expectations have set such a low bar. There is such a low bar for this card that these matches should blow it out of the water. I mean, there's not a lot I see on here I'm excited about, but I mean, if you go in with the lowest bar possible, it might be an amazing show. Mr. Z.
How do you think I get my joy from AEW? Is I don't come in with expectations.
Mr. Z, your thoughts. Quit messing with the AEW fanboys on Twitter. They'll be there after this show.
Oh man!
I know, like Goldberg drinks it. Like Goldberg gets off by drinking the tears of Bret Hart, I know you get off by drinking the tears of AEW fans. But right now we got a show to do. You know what? I invite all AEW fans to come to Elk Grove on October 20th to Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights. And if you are an AEW fan and willingly will admit it on the channel in a video, we'll let you chop Mr. Z. We'll let you get some retribution.
You'll see this.
And you shouldn't have any
logo and run scared.
Well, I mean, Jerry the Gigolo in Realm Warrior Championship Wrestling will, but I mean, if AEW fans want to show up on October 20th at Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights for SPW. They want to admit that they're hardcore AEW fans. They can step up and chop Mr. Z. And since they have such noodle arms, you know it shouldn't really hurt that bad. So you should be up for taking chops all night long. Oh, God. Oh, I can't go that high. That hurts. Anyways. Mr. Z, your thoughts on this show?
I'm pretty sure the in-ring action is going to be great. It'll be about as good as they can do, as long as there's not too many flips, dives, false finishes. Damn, I just killed the whole show. Well, I'm going to try to enjoy it.
You know this
over,
is
hopefully.
You know this is Circus Olay AEW, right? You know that's part of what it is. It's part Circus Olay, part wrestling.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So, where to start?
We'll try to enjoy it. We'll try to.
Where to start with this can of like a giant car wreck that just happened, and they just picked up the pieces that were left. This is such a dartboard card that I don't know. I guess we'll start with Mr. Clarke's favorite match. Maybe, I don't know, the Ring of Honor World Television Championship being advertised. It's going to be on the pre-show. You have Atlantis Jr., who's been here and there on the main AEW shows. I don't know if he's being used. I guess he's being used more in Ring of Honor since he's their TV champion, but I don't know how you have a world television champion of a brand that doesn't have a real TV show. Yes, they have an internet show, I guess, but anyhow, Ring of Honor title being defended on an AEW anyways, Atlantis Jr. versus Brian Cage. Cool. Mr. Clarke, I'll let you do something here.
The disrespect to Brian Cage that's going to happen most likely. How is it he's been one of the most loyal employees, and just like Jimmy Uso, not getting much of a spotlight when he deserves and has put in the work? I feel like he's going to get fed to Atlantis Jr., and no one's going to care. When this man has put so much work into his career, Lucha Underground knew how to book him. Tony Khan does not. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this potential.
So who feels more like Marty Jannetty, Brian Cage or Jimmy Uso?
Woof! When you have a tag team of nothing but Jannettis, I don't know what to say.
I mean, I feel like Brian Cage is more like Jannetty in all of this, that he's just a puppet that's I mean, I don't know. He's I don't know, Brian Cage might be the AEW equivalent to Ronda Truth Killings. He's there, he's usable, but he's a throwaway guy. And no disrespect to Brian Cage, I'm just like, that's the way AEW has presented you. At times they act like
we're talking about the booking more than his talent.
At times they put you in places that seem like they're going somewhere, and then they drop it, and you're running around as part of the cage of agony, and everybody's like, yeah, it's the cage of agony because it's agony to watch them on TV because they're being booked like a pile of dog doo-doo. Mr. Z, your boy, Brian Cage, a New Japan guy, versus Atlantis Jr., the son of Atlantis, a Mexican luchador that Tony Khan doesn't really care to tell us anything about. It makes you want to call up Mike Tenay and go, Mike Tenay, you need to get here. You need to tell us about these guys, because back in the day when Mike Tenay told you about Mexican wrestlers, you didn't know who they were, but it was the most interesting match because he would tell you so much interesting stuff, where they came from, their history, the belts they won, where they wrestled, all over the world. He had a dictionary that he would read out to you every time these guys wrestled, and every time they came out, he'd add more to the story. Tony, what do? You just throw a flippy-floppy guy out here and go, be happy, it's Atlantis Jr., yay, big deal. You don't know? Go Google it.
Well, first, Atlantis Jr., I got to see the man work live at a New Japan show. Great athlete in his own right, just like his father. Both very great at what they do. Brian Cage, multiple-time Pro Wrestling Bushido TV champion, if I'm not mistaken, right, Mr. Clarke?
Not real sure, to be honest.
But he like you said, Lucha Underground knew what to do with him. They booked him as the Machine. He was the Swolverine. He was booked as seen fit a monster, and then you get to here and they've made him a throwaway guy because Tony Khan doesn't know how to book big men. He doesn't know how to book monsters.
Brian Cage.
So I feel like this is just going to be
A waste of time?
yeah, it's just going to be a throwaway, unfortunately. And Brian Cage is going to just be buried under rubble after this.
Brian Cage, if you want to come, we know some guys that can book you like you're supposed to. We know a couple guys. We know a couple places that you could come wrestle. I can't promise a great payday, but I mean, at least you can come wrestle, be booked like a machine, and not a
He's been there before.
not a second not a sideshow carnival. You could be booked like Brian Cage the Machine, not Brian Cage the what was his name? Sideshow Bob?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's big breaking news. The AEW World Tag.
I think
Go ahead.
I think he's been there before. If I'm not mistaken. But we might have to go back a little history lesson with the boys.
We might. Anyway, the AEW World Tag Team Champions are on the line, so the Young Bucks are working another match, even though a couple months ago they weren't on TV. We were all told they had limited dates left in their contract, but it seems like they're wrestling again every week. So I don't know what to believe. And so they're going to wrestle at WrestleDreams, and Tony Khan brought out the shovels and the pitchforks and dug deep into AEW's vast landscape and dug up the private party again and decided to make them feel important for about a week. And they're going to get tag team title shots here. They're not going to win. No fault of their own. It's just, who cares? We just need to get the Young Bucks on TV. This will be a match for some people because it'll be every fucking flying flip-floppy Circus Olay, 25 finishing movers, 300 kickouts, 34 near falls, a 25-minute overdone match for the Young Bucks to walk out the champions. And now we pass it to Mr. Clarke with the rebuttal. Just he'll make it worth the while.
The sad part is Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn have actually started to look better. Like, you're starting to see from a presentation point of view and from an in-ring point of view, like, they're evolving the way they should have been this whole time if Mark Quinn wasn't injured for the longest time in the last few years. But they're just going to be fed to the Young Bucks. So I'm just like, this is a team you could build around. This is a team that you could do something with, but I don't believe you're going to.
So this is a party you're not going to get excited to go to.
Again, I'm coming to this show for the in-ring. The build is going to be BS. It has been BS. I'm going to enjoy what it's like. Mark Quinn, to me, was the weaker link, because like I said, he's been injured for the longest time within the last few years. But even he's starting to, his attire, his presentation, everything about him is starting to elevate more than what it was. It's like I'm starting to get respect for him on the same level as I already had for Isaiah Cassidy. To me, Isaiah Cassidy was kind of the why am I forgetting the guy's name? Street Profits.
Montez Ford.
Montez Ford. To me, Isaiah Cassidy is the Montez Ford of this team. But that's because he got to continue to work because he wasn't injured. So I got to continually see his evolution throughout these last few years. While Mark Quinn's been, like I said, on and off because of injury. Now that they're kind of a tag team again, consistent. Again, AEW could build around them, but it's decided not to for whatever reason. So I'm not having, even though it's like I want good things for this team, I'm not expecting it. I'm expecting Young Bucks to go over.
Mr. Z. Your Young Bucks. New Japan superstars.
The real question. Ooh. Not anymore.
At one time, they were.
The real question is, how long will I last during this match? Because by the 14th false finish, I might just start drinking from the bottle at that point.
You might have a 3-minute. Did somebody say 3 minutes?
Oh, jeez. I don't understand. There was no build for this. Like you said, Tony Khan.
Oh, but there was. There was. They
try to find tag team do this.
They won a triple threat tag match to get this title shot on like Collision or something. I don't know. I read it.
But who watches Collision?
About 200,000 people. About 100,000 more than watched Dynamite this week.
Oof.
Well, Dynamite did what? 329,000. They did 329,000 on Tuesday night. All three shows.
He swears up and the Snowman swears up and down that they're wrong. That those numbers are wrong. I swear they're out to get me.
The Bandit and the Snowman were a great team. Let's not dock the Snowman here. Eastbound and down. Come on. Smoking the Bandit? Yeah. Nobody? Are we all not from the 80s? Did we not live through it? Anyways.
Oh, no, I know. I still watch Smoking the Bandit. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I think I have it on Hulu or one of those things. I don't know. Fandango or whatever they call it nowadays.
Oh, I thought you were about to say VHS.
Anyways.
Oh, he said you were going to say VHS. Damn.
Mr. Clarke's match of the night right here. The 2 out of 3 falls match between Hologram and the Beast Mortis, because they have some weird blood feud from Mexico that they said he had. They have a blood feud, but they didn't really give us the history. So you're going to have to watch these men have a best 2 out of 3 falls match on an AEW Dynamite. And the Beast Mortis moving up the roster, because now he's with Rush Jalistico, and they're managed by Jake the Snake Roberts. So maybe the Beast Mortis will give Hologram his first defeat, because as they told us on Dynamite, Hologram is 14-0. Don't care. Don't want to see this match.
You already know, based off of previous conversations, that I respect the Beast Mortos, but this is a throwaway match. I don't think even Jake Roberts as a mouthpiece can help save this match.
I mean, this is like going to be like Sin Cara taking on Mantar. Anyways, Mr. Z.
Mortos can move better than Mantar. Come on.
Well, I think Beast Mortis is probably the best wrestler in this match, because I think Hologram is the biggest joke in wrestling. I think Hologram was like, when we were all kids, we all had that created wrestler. We all had that E-Fed wrestler. We all had that. We had us as a wrestler in some way. And I think Hologram is the living embodiment of Tony Khan's imaginary wrestler. This is what Tony Khan wanted to be as a wrestler. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
As much as we can talk trash about Redacted and the people he used as avatars for himself, Tony Khan is just woo. If I'm just saying, if Hologram is his avatar, wow.
And you know what?
Dream big.
I will talk shit about you, Tony Khan, because I've taken more bumps than you have. Oh wait, never mind. We've taken the same amount of bumps. I forgot you got drilled by your boys, the Young Buckies. Totally forgot that happened, because we just moved on and act like that didn't happen. But I do the neck brace better. I'm just saying.
At least we get to see Jake Roberts on TV.
Maybe. How many times did we see Jake Roberts come to the ring when Lance Archer came down? Think about it. Or when he was aligned with the Righteous. So a lot of the times...
Don't kill the one thing I'm looking forward to in this match is Jake Roberts possibly coming to the ring.
To do what? Stand there and go, Ole.
Oh, gee.
There you go.
Who's it gonna be?
Sí.
Uno,
Sí.
dos,
Sí.
tres. Yay!
Viva la Nubasa?
The Beast Mortis gonna learn how to do a DDT. I mean, that's. I mean, I don't even know what they're gonna do here.
How about we get rid of the headdress?
All I can
Jeez.
see is Stralistico wrestling, and Jake Roberts is standing there going, "Gosh dang, kid, you need to slow down a little bit." Back in my day when we wrestled, it was a little more methodical, and you know. Hologram, the Beast Mortis, 2 out of 3 falls. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Ooh. Oh God, I threw up in my mouth. Excuse me. Sorry. Hold on.
So you're making yourself sick trying to put this match over, huh?
Mr. Clarke's favorite match on the card, MXM Collection versus The Acclaimed. Go ahead, Mr. Clarke. Put it over.
Entertainment value. It's going to be a decent match. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it should be entertaining. And that's all they're looking for out of it.
Mr. Z's favorite match of the night, the Ring of Honor World Championship at an AEW pay-per-view will be on the line. Ring of Honor World title on the line at an AEW pay-per-view. Let that sink in. Anyways, Mark Briscoe's going to defend his title against Mr. Z's favorite wrestler. He wishes he could be like this man. He sits with an open book and takes notes whenever the learning tree comes on TV. Chris Jericho. See, he's even giving you a lesson right now because the learning tree says, read between the lines.
Can we go back to the other match real quick first so I can at least pay my respects to Mansoor, at least a former Slam wrestler?
Go ahead.
At least we know he's good. But now that you brought up the worst match of the night, because we have to see Old Man Fozzy in the ring, I'm still trying to get blocked by him. It's not working. Everything I say don't work. They brought him back on TV for SmackDown in that dumpster match. I didn't know they allowed him to leave the company for a night.
Mr. Clarke.
As usual, for Mark Briscoe's going to get picked because Jericho gets his way, and we have to listen to him talk about how much of a tree he is and how much he smokes tree, lights trees on fire, plays with his twig. I don't know. Fiddles his bad apples. I don't know.
I don't want to know what he does with his bad apple, but okay. Anyways, Mr. Clarke.
I expect this to be a decent match. Mark Briscoe can work when he wants to. It's Jericho when he puts the time in. I think it really depends on what the point of the match is. And what I mean by that is Tony Khan eventually trying to make ROH a part of AEW like it's been rumored? Or is this just a match just to have ROH advertised in general? Because it wouldn't surprise me if the eventual point is to have Ring of Honor become a part of AEW. And so you put the belt on Chris Jericho to kind of facilitate, hey, look, he's mainstream enough, he's known enough, blah, blah. But if this is just to advertise Ring of Honor in general, Mark Briscoe is going to retain the title.
All I feel like is
going to join the learning tree.
All I feel is this is Mark Briscoe's playing the role of Barney Fife and Chris Jericho's playing the role of the dad on the Brady Bunch, and we're gonna have an old TV throwdown.
Maybe Father does know what's best. I don't know. Jeez.
Somewhere in there, I don't know.
Well, if you're talking about daddies, I mean, isn't Christian supposed to be on the point of that topic at some point?
Is that Christian's going to come in and try to? I don't know what happened there, but you broke up. From what I understand, Christian's going to try and cash in on the main event, but that's where we're supposed to get Shane O'Mac to show up and stop Christian. That's a big reported rumor going down. But we'll talk about more of that in a minute. Because we like to rehash, not rehash your pipe. I mean, rehash bad feuds. We've gone back to Darby Allin versus Brody King out of the clear blue sky. Darby Allin, mind you, who was supposed to get a world title shot against Bryan Danielson, but then defended that shot and gave it up to Moxley because Danielson was injured, but then Danielson returned to the same show that Darby Allin was supposed to get a world title shot at, but got convinced that he couldn't wrestle, so he gave his title match up to Moxley in a loss. But Danielson faced Nigel McGuinness in a match that was decent, but not the great match that it should have been. Maybe, I don't know. And now Darby Allin's back to fighting with Brody King. Because the House of Black, like 2/4 of that team went out of the stupid company, I think. I don't know where Buddy Matthews stands. I don't know if he re-signed or didn't re-sign. I don't know what's up with any of this crap. The House of Black sucks. This match is...
No, Buddy Matthews is at home waiting for the missus to come back and they can celebrate.
Well, now that she ran around right away from the Dirty Dom. Yes, we know. But in ring, it'll be a good match. These two guys will bring it, but it's like we've seen this 1,000 times. I'm really like, this is another TV match that could have been burned off. Why are we doing this on a pay-per-view again? Yabba dabba doo. I don't know what to say. I just like blah. I mean, it's like Darby Allin and Brody King. I can put this on Dynamite and be cool. I can't. I don't get why it's on this pay-per-view. Don't get why this does anything. Darby Allin beats Brody King. What's that do? Brody King beats Darby Allin. What's that do? Who wins in this? Who gets an advantage? Who gets built up bigger? It's like we've seen the monster against little Darby Allin. Darby Allin has done this enough. If we're going to push Darby Allin to be a main event, then let's have him beat guys that are presented in a main event picture. Brody King has not been presented in a main event. He's a guy that's a part of his stable, that's a big beast guy. We know they have history. I get that, but this doesn't do anything for anybody. There's no... I mean, Darby Allin wins. You're like, hey, cool, okay. Brody King wins. You're like, cool, okay. There'll be nothing to follow up with this. It's stupid. It's a waste of both their time, honestly, sadly. Good in-ring match. Creatively, it's just, why?
I don't disagree with you.
Oh, because Brody King...
I think the reason why, though...
Brody King doesn't think Darby Allin's ready to be the face of the company. That's right. That's the story they're going with. Go ahead, Mr. Clarke.
I think the idea, though, of why they started with Darby, you know, like they wanted to push him towards the world title scene, but then took it away from him, was because they knew they were just going to feed Darby to the champion anyways. So instead of going that route, they decided to pivot. That's my belief. Obviously, I have no factual. I don't know for sure.
I feel like
that's just my belief about it.
I feel like Tony Khan's second favorite movie after Time Cop has to be Back in the Future, because it feels like we're always on repeat. Or maybe it's Groundhog Day. You tell me.
Groundhog Day. There you go. That works better.
Mr. Z, Darby Allin, Brody King. Aren't you excited as popcorn nuts in the popcorn nut tree?
I'm not. And it's nothing against Brody King and Darby. We know they could work really well together. It's just, we've already seen it. It's been done. I thought this was over with. But I guess not. So Darby will get a win. I just don't know how hokey of a win we'll get out of him.
As long as he's not hanging from the rafters, upside down by his feet. Anyways, in a match that should get Mr. C is about... Yes. And take 10 headshots. Like, drop his head on the chair while he's on fire. There you go. Anyways, the next match should get Mr. Z is about excited as a 8th grade boy at his first party where they're about to play 7 Minutes in Heaven. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the TNT Championship match of Jack Perry versus Katsuri Shibata. The scapegoat against the wrestler. And this is where we get some enjoyment because we get to drink the tears of Mr. Z as he watches another New Japan great get buried 6 feet under the ring by a character that has no value anymore. They have totally killed the heel run of the scapegoat, Jack Perry. They would have been better off letting CM Punk choke him out and just be done.
This is what he comes back from a career, a life-threatening injury to be buried by a man
almost half his size,
him, worthless, and just
I hear there's a company in Eastern Tennessee up in the Pigeon Forge area that's called Micro Wrestling. I think Jack Perry could definitely exceed there. I think he could be their world champion.
Yes. Well, they're supposed to have Micro Wrestling somewhere around our area too that we could probably see him pop in at and be the star of the show.
You know what, Tony Khan, if you want to put it on a fair level, let's get Jack Perry versus Hornswoggle. Then at least it's fair. The playground's fair. Let's have a playground match. There you go. Katsuyori Shibata, one of the greats of New Japan, a wrestler, taking on Jack Perry, who is becoming the biggest joke in this company with a title that looks nice. I mean, at least they did something different with the title. It looks nice. The title is good, but Jack Perry is just blah. He's been booked like blah, and he's really not that great of a wrestler. Katsuyori Shibata is going to run over this poor boy.
I give Jack Perry all the credit in the world for creating that belt, that look. Like, the man's skilled. That's skill work right
Look,
there, but it just
1990s called. Raven called from 1990 and said, "I want my flock look back, motherfucker." And you know what? We're going to be in the Northwest. This is going to be in Washington. So I won't be surprised if the scapegoat comes out with a flannel in this motherfucking match. That's what I want. Can we sign Raven to come and give the even flow DDT to Jack Perry and be done with it? I mean, that would be great for Tacoma, Washington.
The fact that he gets under your skin that much just makes me wonder, maybe Tony Khan's onto something with Jack Perry.
He's not onto anything. He doesn't really get on my skin. It's just, I just don't care.
All the shit you talk, he doesn't get under your skin.
Not really.
He's sitting here talking about how he's unworthy. For someone who's not really trying hard, you might be doing something right.
Let me see.
In a wet dream. I mean, Jack Perry is about as useless as a skunk at a picnic.
You say so.
He doesn't do anything for me. He doesn't really get under my skin. I just talk shit because he's just I don't get any. He makes no sense. And he's out here wrestling Katsuyori Shibata. He's a champion by default in a way. Just kind of like,
So we're sitting here using Jack Perry as a scapegoat when he's not in control of who he wrestles, who books the matches.
Yes.
That's not even a shoot. That's in storyline. You know? I mean, the booking's bad on him, but I mean, he's an okay wrestler. I mean, I don't think he's that great in the ring either. He's okay. I don't know. Shibata will carry him through this match.
Definitely. Will he come out in the van? That's all I want to know.
Yes, he's going to come out in his jingle bus. He's going to come out with his little red helmet and licking the windows and going, "My favorite color's clear," and yeah. You know what? Can we bring Eugene back? Can he have Eugene on the short bus with him? Can we make Eugene his manager? That might make it entertaining.
You can get Nick Edensboard, but you can't get Eugene.
No, I know.
WWE intellectual property.
Anyways.
Hi, guys.
So now is that Eugene or is that Chris Jericho? I'm not sure who's covering who there.
Dave. Hi.
Yeah.
Anyways. Anything you guys want to add to that?
No.
All right.
It'll be a match. There you go.
What should be a decent match, even though one guy is a total joke and the other man is kind of, he's finding footing, but I don't have faith in creative. Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White. I know Hangman won the big over-the-top cage match, but I feel like it still didn't do anything. Like I just don't feel like Hangman's gotten his boys back. Jay White seems a little more impressive in his last few promos since his return. And Jay White returning, I would hope they give this match to Jay White, but I don't know because Hangman's one of Tony Khan's favorite buckaroos, and you know, it might be cowboy time afterwards. You know, he's got to sit down Tony Khan and read him Toy Story, and play the role of not Buzz, but
Woody.
Woody. Yes.
Woody.
I swear that's what Tony Khan looks at Hangman Page and goes, it's a life-size real human being Woody. So I'm a little afraid that Hangman's going to win here, even though Jay White needs to win. Honestly, both these guys need to win. I mean, you kind of had Hangman come out of this match with Swerve to have him go into a feud with Jay White, which you made sense of, but it's like, do you really, I mean, after what he did with Swerve, do you really have him lose to Jay White now? Because I feel it will just kill any little momentum that he had, and I think it was very little momentum he gained from that match, but that's me. But again, this is Jay White's big return match, so do you have him beat Hangman? And does it really do a whole lot for Jay White, except to kind of get some redemption on the Cowboy? I don't know. They might have needed to let this match fester a little more. You know, put it back in the barrel, seal it up, let it sit, and, you know, do what it needs to do so you can get a nice fine wine or maybe a good whiskey, then taking it out so early. Mr. Clarke.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think it's going to be a good match, but I'm more worried about the continuing story. Because in a recent promo, Jay White says there's 2 reasons. Hangman was just the first.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he winds up eventually turning on Juice. Just to go in a different direction.
We'll see. Mr. Z? Tony says they will be revealing a new title in AEW tomorrow night called the Learning Tree title. So the Ring of Honor title will become the Learning Tree title.
Jesus.
Anyways.
Attaboy, Tony.
Mr. Z.
Bro.
Mr. Z. Hangman Adam Page.
Where my loyalty lies.
Yes. I understand that.
Know. But if he loses, it's already dead. Honestly, Jay White needs a solid win. Mr. 0 Hour needs to start building some wins. But like you said, Tony Khan's favorite cowboy that he likes to wear chaps for needs to win as well.
Do you suppose he gives Tony piggyback rides in the back?
Does he put the saddle on?
I don't know. He might bring out the whip too.
Spurs? Who wears the spurs in that one? It's Mr. Clarke's reaction. That's why I do it.
Anyways, there you have it. Moving along, the International Championship is going to be defended in a 3-way match as Mr. Z's other favorite boy, the high-flying, flippy-floppy superhero of all saviors, the great and almighty Oz of professional wrestling. And no, I'm not talking Kevin Nash Oz. The leader of the solo cult, the man of the man, the man of the hour, the man with all the power, the greatest professional wrestler of all time, Tony Khan's. I won't go there, but yeah, Tony Khan has a lot of. Anywho, Will Ospreay will defend his title against the greatest AEW signing of all times, Ricochet. And they're going to take on Konosuke Takeshita, or Take a Shit, depending on who you listen to. For the international yes, that's exactly what you're going to hear in this crowd. Because, yeah.
Let's be honest. Ricochet does not need a title. He's already got the best thing that he can possibly have in Samantha Irving. He's already won in life. So no matter what happens in this match, I do like the rise that the presentation, if you will, of Konosuke.
Yeah.
But I see that I feel like Ospreay's going over and retaining the title.
Well, I think if Takeshita's going to win, it's going to be. I feel if Takeshita's going to win, he's going to pin Ricochet. I don't think they let Ospreay take the pin.
Well, I think Ricochet can pin no matter who it is.
Oh, I don't know. I think Takeshita could take a pin if it's by the other two. I can see Ricochet pinning Takeshita and then continuing the feud between Will Ospreay and Ricochet, because that's what everybody's been wanting all these years, to see Will Ospreay and Ricochet, and we saw the match on free TV, and it was mid. For all the hype and all the talk these two boys played, it was a mid, flip-flop, super reversal. Look at what I can do in a company that has too many people doing the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. It's your boy. You have the banner on the other side of you.
I know I do.
You get in the shower and you go, Ospreay, Ospreay, Ospreay.
So first off, Ricochet, do us all a favor. Stay the hell off Twitter, off X. You don't need to respond to every tweet that's bad about you. You sound like a 12-year-old girl who got her heart broken when someone says something bad about you.
You chose to leave the WWE.
So he sounds like...
Yeah, exactly. That was your fault. And in the process of that, you were long darted into a TV truck too while you were at it. It's okay. Ospreay, it feel like has been watered down for months now, because too much exposure did that to him. Takeshita looked solid G1, and it seemed like he brought that momentum back with him. So if anyone should win, it should be Takeshita. But that'll only continue a feud that I sure as hell didn't ask for. But I guess if you know the Reddit fans want to see it, Tony Khan will make sure it happens.
Why do I keep having this vision of seeing Will Ospreay walking through the cranberry bogs, and like the old commercials for Ocean Spray cranberry juice? You know, they used to be the cranberry bogs with their waiters and everything selling it. I just kept waiting for a commercial where Ospreay's there. Go ahead, drink your Ocean Spray. Ospreay, Ocean Spray, Ospreay, Ocean Spray. Yay, whatever. Ricochet, stay off Twitter. Yeah, you've opened your mouth and made statements that you have not fulfilled, and you don't know how to shoot a promo. Sorry about your luck. Not very good at it. Not very convincing on your own. You left WWE. You even made the statement to go as far as if AEW would have been here when your contract was up back in the day, you would have never joined WWE. You're just another guy in a showcase of guys that can do the same thing as you, and you're not bringing anything different to the table. And now you've had your big match with the Will Ospreay. We're going into the second one. What Ricochet? Let me ask you this: what are you going to do after you're done feuding with Ospreay? How many other people do people really think you're going to have? I mean, in ring, cool, you'll do your thing, but I mean, is there a lot of life left to Ricochet in AEW after Ospreay? Yes, there is. I get that, but at the same time, it's kind of like the other end of that's just like, are we going to care enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he could wrestle plenty of people in AEW and be decent, but it's just like, if the story booking's not there and he doesn't get a little better at his promo, it's just going to be like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to bring him into the Hurt Syndicate as a junior member?
I don't have faith in the Hurt Syndicate. I mean, MVP and Lashley will do good. We've seen the Hurt Syndicate in TNA, and it was good. Shelton Benjamin will be halfway decent in there, but anybody else I think will be whatever. I know people are talking about Swerve and Hobbs joining it, and I'm just kind of like, Swerve doesn't make sense because that's too many big egos there. Hobbs maybe, but it's like you have Lashley's a big powerhouse. What does Hobbs do? And I don't think Hobbs needs to be a prospect for the Hurt Syndicate, and I feel that's the role he's going to play. He'd be the old Cedric to the Hurt business. He's just going to be that fourth wheel, fifth wheel guy. Ricochet and the Hurt Syndicate, maybe, but I mean, it's just kind of like, nah. I think the Hurt Syndicate needs to be the three guys it's going to be. If they add a fourth, hopefully they make it worth it. Hopefully they're going to build somebody.
Yes.
I would think that would be the point, but sometimes we differ than how Tony Khan or even other companies like to write their creative.
Well, and if you put Ricochet in the Hurt Syndicate, does it really do anything for the Hurt Syndicate? It's just another movable piece in a puzzle. Hobbs would be great because at least he's young, and you could build to develop him to be a Batista, Randy Orton. If you do like the evolution where he builds up to be somebody, and then eventually he could turn on Lashley, and you have the two big men. Ricochet to me would just be that fourth guy that you could interchange with Benjamin, and it just kind of be a thing. And I don't know how long Tony Khan could do anything. Again, MVP and Lashley will get themselves over. Shelton Benjamin will be there, but I don't think Tony Khan's going to do anything to really. He may let Shelton Benjamin shine in the beginning, but I mean, Shelton Benjamin ain't even wrestling on this pay-per-view. MVP is not going to wrestle. Lashley's probably going to show up here when Swerve comes out, and him and Lashley will have a moment. But again, when has Tony ever booked a big man? Lashley's a big man. Now, he'll have MVP, and he's good at what he does, so he'll get over for a little bit, but how long does that story really last as relevancy? And I only take that based on the current history of AEW. I mean, is the Elite even a valued thing on this anymore? Where's the biggest signing in AEW history? Okada. He's not on this card, at least not yet. I mean, that could happen in the next 12 hours. Supposedly, Mercedes Moné is rumored to take on now babyface Chris Statlander as it's being sold down the road after she ditched Stokely Hathaway, and Hathaway has nobody, and now he's trying to recruit Private Party. But anywho, that's a different story for a different day and on a different tale. But I'm like, the Elite, what's happened to them? What with the Gates of Agony? Is the Don Callis family really a threat to anything? What about all these other stables that have come and gone, these other groups? What about the BCC that's fallen apart and switched into different... It's like they create so many stables and groups and factions, and then they all fall apart. LFI, the Triangle of Fear, or the Faces of Fear, whatever their group name is. I mean, do any of these pieces...
How dare you, sir, take our name?
Well, true. But anywho, I mean, name a stable on AEW that's been successful.
Carry the one, -4.
So, I mean, it's like you want to say the Hurt business, and I look at it and go, the Hurt Syndicate, excuse me. Yes, MVP, Shelton, Bobby, they'll do a lot of great things with it, but where does it go? And if the creative team doesn't do anything great with it and it fizzles out like everything else fizzles out, like, I mean, Undisputed Era or Undisputed Kingdom.
Oof.
Very disputed.
The Pinnacle. The
Bottom?
any group Jericho's the head leader of. I mean, it's like they're there for a minute, then it just... So. AEW's Women's Championships on the line. Mariah May defending against Willow Nightingale, who amazingly won a triple threat match because Britt Baker was injured, so she had to take on Jamie, or a four-way, I guess. It was Jamie Hayter, Saraya, and somebody else. And Willow Nightingale won, so Willow Nightingale's getting a shot at Mariah May because Britt Baker has strep throat. So there you go. Damn. Willow Nightingale, the documentary that needs to be written there, The Rise and Fall of Willow Nightingale in AEW.
I don't know about going quite that far, but that's also because I've been a fan of Willow since AEW Dark.
Oh, I understand that.
Yes, I understand that this is going to be a good match, and Mariah's going over. We get it.
And then the AEW World Championship match, Danielson versus Moxley, who's turned the world upside down because Moxley's doing this for reasons we don't understand, and we all have to accept it's not our company anymore. I don't even know who owns this company anymore. Is it Tony? Is it the Elite? Is it Dave Meltzer? Is it Tony Khan's daddy? Is it
30%?
Is it Vince McMahon? Is it Shane O'Mac? Is it Triple H? Is it the fans? Is it Vince Russo? I don't know who owns this company anymore.
Oh, what's wrong with you, boy? Adding that name in there.
Well, some of the booking is Russo booking. Somebody opened the book of Russo booking, and it's booked some of these shows like Vince Russo would.
I can't argue that. Damn.
I mean, we're only one step away from maybe an Oklahoma showing up.
Jeez. And not while I was actually in the company, golly.
Yeah.
Anyways, Danielson, Moxley. It'll be a damn good match in the ring, no doubt. But I mean, I don't know if I have any cares. I hope this storyline pays off with some value reason. If it's Shane McMahon that's leader of this, I guess cool. But hopefully they have some story that makes sense. Because this just feels like we're rehashing what the Elite were doing a few months back. Except we're not having these over-the-top extreme matches where we're not hanging people by their feet and bleeding them out or lighting them on fire or taking unnecessary tear shots or, lighting people on fire and then having them come back and win the match.
Yeah.
I don't know how to call this one.
Yeah.
You can make arguments on both sides.
Yeah.
Well, and whenever Danielson loses this title, it's the end of his full-time in-ring career, he says.
Right.
So I don't think it happens here. I think it happens at whatever their stupid pay-per-views at the end of the year. I think that's what they're heading for, I think. Yeah, that dumb show. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I think your odds are better at the slot machine. Yeah. I think you have better odds at the slot machine in Vegas than predicting this card. And unpredictability is good, but unpredictability without reasoning is not good. Like, give me reasons to believe that both sides can win. Just booking stuff to go, I don't know what to book here or who to think here. Just, it doesn't help make it make sense.
Right.
The big question is whatever Moxley's thing is going to be. And I think they're going to overblow surprises because I think I've heard we may see the return of Cole Copeland have both been talked about returning to the show, especially since I think this is the one that Copeland debuted on. The big debut of Lashley's supposed to happen, and then whoever Moxley's working with. So this is, I think maybe we booked a card that's kind of mid because the shockers are going to be the big thing that Tony Khan wants everybody talking about.
Gotcha.
Right. And of course, I hear after this pay-per-view, you can join a party with Tony Khan, and he's going to stream at this party Time Cop, so everybody can understand how great of a movie Time Cop is.
Okay, then.
No.
Yes, everybody's going to be able to stay in the arena and watch on the Jumbotron Time Cop. "58 people have come through here. 58 people love to hear what we have to say about AEW. It's a damn shame. We actually bring in more viewers for AEW crap. That's kind of why, if it's Mr. Z, you want to ask me why we put ourselves through the torture of AEW. It's because the people come and watch more of our AEW stuff than the WWE stuff. The only thing that's on par is our SPW stuff, shocking.
I don't understand hate watching.
So, but yes, we usually
this
get.
shows you right now, Big Time and Mr. Clark. This shows you guys right here that people have given up.
Well, I mean, even Meltzer is saying that people are tuning into WWE after we've seen the dismal ratings for AEW Dynamite this week compared to NXT. Yes, we can say that AEW Dynamite was preempted. It was put on Tuesday night. Maybe not everybody who watches it knew it was going to be on Tuesday night. I don't know how that is. Because, I mean, they tell you on the show. They got smashed.
Mm-hmm.
800,000 for NXT, 329,000 for Dynamite. I mean, they got smashed. I do feel the show is weekly booked. I feel like Tony Khan has weekly booked this pay-per-view. The wrestlers will make this pay-per-view and the match is good, but there's nothing. This is a TV show. I could watch Dynamite and see these matches and be, okay, that's a decent Dynamite. Pay-per-view level, I'm kind of like, I feel like Tony Khan said it. He got the bag and now he's mailing it in. I feel like Tony Khan comes closer and closer to being redacted every time we turn around. This feels like you can't really debate. There's not a real debate that somebody can give me that this doesn't feel like Tony Khan mailed in this pay-per-view event. That this was mailed in, threw together. The only thing shocking is
I don't think even Jane would argue with you on that one.
The only thing shocking here is Orange Cassidy and Monet at this point are not on this card. Now, that doesn't mean that won't happen. Because we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 matches on this card right now. Right?
Oh, is that all?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 matches so far. Tony Khan usually does 12 to 15 matches. So I won't be surprised if we get a few more matches.
Don't get that. Don't put that out there, please.
Well, there's
Stop
only
manifesting that stuff. Is what you
there's only one that's put out for 0 hour, so I can't design. I can't. And there's going to be more matches on 0 hour. Hopefully, it won't be like 5 matches on 0 hour crammed into 1 hour. By the time you're done with it, you're like, I need a breather. Well, All Out. What did they do? They did put 4 matches on the 1 hour pre-hour show. And by the time that was over, you're like, oh, good God. Kayla Becker says that she survived, but she can't say the same for I Am Jericho, Clownface, Fave, hashtag Terrifier, movie so far, hashtag Terrifier 3.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know.
I got nothing.
Anyways, gentlemen, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Let's get
Good
ready
luck.
for tomorrow.
We're gonna go take
Be
a
in your favor tomorrow, folks.
we're gonna go take a good nap. And
Yeah.
we're gonna go take a good nap, and we'll be back tomorrow to cover WrestleDreams for you, because yeah. And then we'll be back Sunday with this week, the weekly roundup podcast, where we're gonna give you everything this week in professional wrestling, and then we'll do a Monday, we'll do a Friday night review of shows. There'll be some other stuff scattered into the middle, and then next Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, SPW, Ghouls Frights Wrestling Tights, Elk Grove, California, Indoor World Soccer Arena, Elk Grove, California, on Kent Street. All the information in the description below. Go to the SPW Facebook page. Check it out. There's going to be candies. There's going to be Halloween costumes. This is going to be the biggest event in SPW history, the biggest event all year. You need to come out and check this out. Some big surprises. We're going to create the first ever Sexy Grandpa section. Come out and help the Value of Wrestling create the Sexy Grandpa section. Come by our table. We'll help you set up the Sexy Grandpa section at Value Wrestling, Ghouls Frights and Wrestling Tights. We're going to have a lot of signs. Mr. Z is going to make sure Chima knows that Chima fears Scoot. Chima fears Scoot. Yes. And if you clown boy, mother trucking, nut butter, Figaro, wannabe Bozo the Crown, Sideshow Bob, freaky boy that wants to call himself Checkles comes anywhere near our tables, Mr. Z is going to take you out with his own choppy choppy.
I got a boot. I got a boot.
Are you going to drink out of that boot? Maybe after he gets done watching after watching AEW Dynamite, he's going to have to drink a boot full of liquor just to feel alive again.
I might come on here drinking at that point.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for tuning in. We're going to get out of here, and we're going to call it a night. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Break It Down WrestleDreams 2024. We'll see you on the next one.